Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. I am Michelle Stuchel, and I have the huge honor of introducing one of my dearest friends and teammates, Leah Groover. She is going to help all of us so much. So without further ado, buckle your seatbelt and be ready to get ready just to learn and glean, and she's going to help you take care of your business. Leah, go for it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to be here with you guys tonight and share a little bit in terms of organization. And I am going to share my screen. Let's see here. Michelle, if you could make me a host real quick,
Yes,
that would be
helpful.
fantastic.
Sorry, make co-host.
Not a problem.
There you go.
Okay, fantastic. So let's try this again. All right. Let's get sharing. Okay, so tonight we are going to be talking about taking care of our business and really how organization and empowerment go hand in hand. And a lot of us wish that things could be different, but guess what? If we don't start planning, nothing's going to be different. So hopefully this will give you some tools, some ideas, and you can turn those dreams and those wishes into reality. So let's get going. All right. So what's the big deal? What is the big deal with organization? Why does it really matter? Well, let me tell you why it really matters. Because being organized may seem to you like it's a series of behaviors, it's habit, but really, guys, it's more than that. It is an actual mindset. And when we get started, when we take up new routines, when we take up different systems, it is going to take some time initially. It is going to take some commitment. But let me tell you, it is so worth it. Because when you live your daily life in an organized way, it is going to pay off in dividends, not just in your business, but truly in every area of your life. So, as we talk about the benefits of organization as it pertains to your mindset, as I mentioned from the very top, you're going to have a sense of empowerment when you start organizing your day. Not only that, guys, you're also going to start reducing your stress levels. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone that, wouldn't mind reducing their stress levels, right? So I did a little further research, a little more digging. I also found out when you're organized, you sleep better. Not only that, it increases your productivity and improves your relationships. So, you may say, oh, organization, what's the big deal? Well, all of those are huge big deals. So, regardless of where you are, I know I have some people on this call that are super organized. They have their time blocked down to the T. And then I have some other people on this call that maybe could use a few pointers. And I have people at the very top of this company on the call. I even have people on this call that they don't even have one person on their team. And that's okay. This call is for you. If you are in any of those categories and everywhere in between. So what I want you to do is go into this with a very open mindset and really start evaluating where you can improve. And guys, I'm not talking about the quantum leap. I'm not talking about changing everything tomorrow. As we know, that does not work. What I'm talking about is small improvements that are impactful, that can change everything and really lead you to a more organized life. Okay, so things that we're going to be covering. All right, our key points, things that we're going to talk about as it pertains to taking care of your business tonight. We're going to be talking about goals, about focusing on what's most important. We're also going to talk about making a list and scheduling it. We're going to talk about your time management because that is critical to organization. Also, how to use some time management tools, how to delegate some tasks, manage distractions because we live in a world that we're constantly being given information, how to reduce clutter, and of course, how to stay organized. So like Michelle said, buckle your seatbelts. We have a lot to cover. Okay, so let's see here. We can get this to move over. Okay, there we go. So I love this quote. I've always loved this quote. For every minute spent in organization, an hour is earned. And guys, this is so very true. But here's the key. How does this play out? Just not just in your business, but in your life. I'll tell you how. Only with intentionality. Okay. So if you don't take the minutes to organize, guess what? You're not going to have the hour. Okay. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Leah Shay, you do not know how busy I am. I can't take minutes to plan. I understand we all have different circumstances, but I'm going to venture to ask you this question. Are you saying you're more busy than the diamonds on this team? Than the jewels that are on this team? Because here's the thing. While all of our circumstances may be different, we are all given the same hours in a day. It's just how we use them. And I love what Martin Luther said. And some of you may be familiar with this line as well, but he said, I have so much to do today. I must pray 3 hours because I can't get it all done if I don't pray. Now, I'm not saying go lock yourself in a closet for 3 hours, but what I am saying is I am going to encourage you to pray over your planning because, we can make all the plans we want, but we want to make sure we're making those plans with the Lord's plans in mind. Okay. So I am not saying run into this and schedule out every little single nook and cranny of your day without seeking some direction first. Okay. Because let me tell you, God can do so much more with those minutes, in those few minutes, than we could upon hours, upon hours, upon hours. So goes back to the whole principle of seek first the kingdom of God, right? And all things shall be added unto you. Okay, so what is most important? Okay. Okay, let's see here. What's this not coming over? There we go. Okay, so when we focus on what's most important, there's 2 different categories that I want you guys thinking about. Your long-term goals as well as your short-term goals. And when we think about this, your long-term goals are going to need to be revised, right? As are your short-term goals. So this is not something that's set in stone. This is a living, working document, okay? And I put the picture of Hawaii on here because I know a lot of people, that is their goal. They want to be laying on the beaches of Hawaii, right? With your dream team. So what do you need to do in order to stay focused on what's most important? I would encourage you to keep photos of your family nearby or inspirational pictures, whatever is going to keep you focused on that long-term goal and that short-term goal. For right now, we're going to focus more on the short-term goals and setting daily priorities to meet those goals. Okay, so as we do that, that is going to require us to make a list. Okay, so when you make a list, there's a couple different things that you're going to need on this list. And guys, I always had a to-do list. I've always been a lister. Okay, listers are just going to list. And it's not enough to just have a list, because I've also always said, if it's not on my calendar, it's not going to happen. And it's just so true. As great as intentions as we may have, if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. So I want you to review daily. What are your daily priorities at the beginning of each day? And have a game plan. Know what you're going to be doing each day in advance. Don't wake up and hope that the day goes well. The other great thing about this is when you already have a plan for your day, when life happens, as we know it does, you're not going to be completely derailed. The other list that you're going to want to have is weekly. You're going to want to create a day and time to review and to update tasks each week. So plan your week out in advance. If you don't have a customer relationship management software, if you're brand new to this, you are going to need to determine, who are you talking to this week? Who are you connecting with? Who are you building a relationship with? Is that over coffee? Is that over Zoom? Who are you reaching out to? Is that over the phone? Is that via Messenger? So have a plan in place. Also, I noticed for me, one of the things that tend to bring up some emotion and cause some stress in my business was the fact that I didn't have my social media planned out. So I do that a week in advance now. And guess what? It takes the pressure off. Do I have all my posts written out and ready to go? No, not necessarily, but I definitely have my topics down and I know what I'm talking about each day when I show up. So whatever that looks like that you need to break down in weekly bite-sized increments, retention, personal development, are you scheduling these things? And then, of course, monthly, determine what needs to happen each month and plan it. And so this is going to go back to, as an individual, and your goals. How did you do last month? How'd your team do last month? Really recapping that. Also familiarizing yourself with what's coming down the pipeline, what's going on this month, what are the incentives, what are the bonuses, where did we do really good last month, where do we really need to lean in this month? And then the other thing I love to look at on a monthly basis is, how are you adding value to your team? How are you adding value to your current customers? And how are you adding value to your potential new customers? Okay, your prospects. And then, of course, last but not least, just having quarterly reviews, yearly reviews. Just things are going to come up, right? And we may have a new launch like reset. So that causes us to make some shifts, some adjustments, right? Anytime we have something new launch, we're going to approach it a little bit differently. But again, tending to those daily, weekly, and monthly activities and tending to them well. Which brings us right into time management. Okay, let's see here. So it is imperative that sorry guys, when we are looking at our schedule, that we are being intentional to schedule in some quiet time. And for those of you who aren't doing Plexus full time, or for those of you that are, working in an office, I haven't done this my whole life, but guess what? I was at my office an hour before it opened every single day. Why? Because I needed to schedule in some quiet time. And as a group, we read the book 12-Week Year. And guess what it talks about? Intentionally scheduling time, quiet time where you can reflect on what you're learning and making a plan on how to implement that. Guys, if you're not making time to do this in your business, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay? You're taking in knowledge and you're not applying it. That's not wisdom. So schedule in some quiet time. This is also great for those tasks that are going to need some extra concentration. This is a great time to do that in those windows. Also, you want to determine when you are at your very best. Guys, I'm a morning person. I love my mornings. I actually enjoy waking up early. That is when my energy is at the highest. That's also when I know I need to get the demanding things done. And I'm going to spend other times doing less demanding things. So you need to identify that for you, when you're best and when you can accomplish those tasks. Of course, focus on those feelings of accomplishment. Guys, this goes back to being empowered. When you're organized, you're empowered. A friend of mine was sitting across the table from me, and we had just sent out a couple messages and she goes, how are you feeling about that? And I said, really empowered. And she goes, oh, really? Why? And I was like, anytime I take action, I'm going to feel empowered, and you are too. So if you tend to procrastinate, I want you to stop doing that for one, but I want you to really focus on the sense of accomplishment that you're going to feel when that job is done. And let me tell you, that's going to take that procrastination off the table. You're going to want to dive in and get the things done. And then last but not least, in terms of time management, I want you to use your commute. I want you to use your carpool time, anytime that you're in the car, essentially, and maximize that time. This is a time where you can, go through your daily activities. Okay, this is what I'm doing today. This is how I'm going to approach today, and reviewing those things that are on your calendar in your mind. Also, it's a great time to listen to podcasts, listen to Audible. One of the things that I started doing in the car after I dropped my son off at school was daily affirmations and just saying them out loud. Our words have so much power. Sending voice messages. What I'm saying is, do not let this be a waste of your time. Use this time in order to be productive. And I know some of y'all probably live in Atlanta. I know y'all have commutes. Okay, so let's see here. Sorry, guys, I'm having a hard time getting my screen to move. Matter of fact, I think I'm actually going to put this into a different format.
If you just hit the green button, it'll maximize like at the top. Yeah.
Oh, you're fabulous. Okay, thank you. Let me. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Okay. For some reason, it's scrolling down now, but I'll take it. Okay, so managing distractions. Oh, goodness. Do we not live in a time of just distraction overload? So let's talk about this. We're going to have to plan. You're going to have to know the order in which you approach your day. And guys, I am going to encourage you to do these items first, before you open up the emails, before you look at your phone, before you start launching into social media, because guess what? All of those things can really hijack the start of your day if you're not intentional with what you're doing. That seemingly, oh, I got a text, turns into an hour later, you're getting back to what you originally started to do with your morning. Okay. Unplug if you have to, if you need to, but beyond that, I just encourage you to, because we have so many forms of communication, streams of information to glean from, that we have to be intentional to unplug. Turn off your notifications, have designated times that you're going to set to check your text messages, to check your messenger messages, to return phone calls. Just make sure you're being intentional with that. Also, I'm going to encourage you to use tools in order to manage your distractions. In our team page, we have fantastic IPA sheets, which IPA stands for income producing activities, for those of you who may not be familiar with that term. But it's basically a flow sheet that breaks down all of our tasks into small daily tasks. And guys, hint, hint, this is the slight edge in action. These are the small daily tasks in action. And the reward. I often manage my distraction by focusing on the reward, meaning I am going to do the IPA, then I'm going to get lunch, or I'm going to send out 5 messages before I go put the laundry into the dryer, because there's so many little things that could could steal our time away. So even though laundry is not much of a reward, it's an incentive for me to get the things done first. And I think they actually talked about that in Atomic Habits, to build in your rewards, even if they're mundane and small, to help you to get your work done. And then last but not least, your environment, because this is really critical. We're going to talk a little bit more about environments, but it really is important for you to have a place where you can do your intentional thinking, where you can have that quiet time and really focus on your work. Okay, so with that being said, we need to reduce the clutter. So I'm curious, how many of you have a workspace? I have a workspace. I have a designated workspace. And it's important for us to keep our workspace clutter-free. This goes back to organization. One of the beauties of our job is, yes, we really can work from anywhere, right? And it's one of the perks, but they even mentioned this at our leaders retreat. And I know there's someone on this call that even went and bought a desk after leaders retreat. And I'm very proud of them, because that tells me they're serious about their business. They're getting a designated space and they're going to work from it. Even Atomic Habits mentions this, that you need a designated space for the things that you do so you can be intentional with that time. Now, with this, some of us are going to have a desk. A lot of us are going to be working from our phones, and there's a time and place for all of that. Now, with your desk, I am going to encourage you to only keep critical items on your desk. This goes back to being organized in that mindset of clutter-free. Only keep those things that are most critical on your desk, the things that you really need on a daily basis. And also, I would encourage you to archive your information. We get a lot of Plexus information. And when I say archive, whether that's things you've printed out or things that are cluttering up the desktop on your computer, just archive the resources that you don't use on a consistent basis. Toss out any information that is duplicate information or that's outdated information. Delete it off your computer. Free space up. This also applies to your phone, and just keeping things seamless, because when you're having to dig through the clutter, you're not able to really work from a proactive, organized fashion. So you'll also are going to find that this is going to help you to manage your time better. And speaking of time management, let's talk a little bit more about just the use of time management. Because here's the thing. You're doing a million things a day, right? You're scheduling the kid's doctor's appointment. You're scheduling that welcome call because you just got a new join. You're scheduling this, you're scheduling that, and you're thinking in your mind, oh, I'll remember this. But guess what? That is taking up a lot of unnecessary brain space. Write it down and stop trusting your memory. And then the other benefit of that is when life happens and things are going 90 to nothing, you have it written down. You have a reminder. You're not having to rely upon yourself. So with that, you're going to want to make sure that you're using your time wisely. Write down all your commitments in your calendar. You're going to basically use your calendar to plan out your day, plan out your week. You're going to check your calendar to review your activities, to avoid conflicts, to time block. And if you're not familiar with time blocking, there's other videos out there for that. You may or may not have a customer relationship management tool that you use. This is really great for terms of cultivating relationships, follow-up, retention. Use that. If you don't have that, create a system of your own, to each their own. And then use planners for scheduling to help you map out long-term goals, to map out projects that you may be working on within your business, but get the tools you need in place. And guys, delegate your task. I know this can be hard for some of us out there, but you do not have to do everything yourself. Invest back into your business by enlisting help. And guys, I'm just going to tell you to start small. That may be that you need to go invest in that customer relationship management tool. You may need to get a tool to keep you organized. You also will find that once you do that, it's going to, again, free up some of that mental space about thinking, who am I following up with today? Who haven't I followed up with? And you can free up some brain space in that. Or maybe you need to invest back in your business. Think about some small tasks that you're willing to delegate to someone else that can save you time. And guys, I do this. I have a lovely, very responsible high schooler that helps me to track my virtual office. She tracks my points. She tracks my joins, my perks report. She also makes sure all my subscriptions are processing properly. And she will do other various tasks, birthday posts, things that I'm comfortable allowing her doing. And guess what? There's been times when I've said, you know what? I need to invest in a maid because things are busy right now. Can I have a housekeeper? Someone needs to come clean my house. So whatever that looks like for you, whether that be investing in childcare, whether that be investing in a housekeeper from time to time, whether that be investing in an assistant. My assistant works 3 hours a week, guys. It's not like it's loads and loads of work, but it saves me time. And that's 3 hours of work that I can delegate to someone else. So delegate your task. All right, so let's talk about getting and staying organized and really adopting the mindset, because as we mentioned, that's what it's really about. It's not about that. It's not about the habits. It's not about all the tasks that you need to do. It starts in between your ears, guys. It's the mindset. I'm going to encourage you to create routines. They talk about this in Atomic Habits. Implement those routines for both your business and for your personal life. And in our home, we have morning and evening routines for my son. And guess what? It streamlines those tasks. There's not a lot of thought that we have to put it into. What are we doing in the morning? We know what we're doing. Same goes for your business. Also, use your tools. Take time daily to review your task, make those adjustments that need to be made, and update your calendar. Guys, be proactive with this. Constantly be adding to your calendar. And then you're going to repeat that. Getting organized is going to take some time, and staying organized will be so much easier once you have those things in place. So just be proactive. All right, so last but not least, organization starts in the mind before it comes to fruition in your business. Making the commitment in your mind to a lifestyle of cleanliness, order, and peace will help you to take the action when you may be too tired or when you want to let things go. Once you see the results in your work, and really, guys, once you see the results in your life, you will be inspired to stick to your new habits. So, guys, I want you to really take some time, think about how you need to organize your thoughts and manage your daily activities. Everyone's different, but we're all doing the same thing in this business if we're moving our business forward. So I want you to think about coming up with some organization systems and really getting your ideas down, prioritizing organization, and just your overall schedule so that you can clear up the mental space, and it will make you so much more productive in the end. And the last thing that I want to say before we close out, the goal here is not to be perfect. Let me repeat that, because I need to hear it. The goal is not to be perfect with this. Your time block's going to be messy. It's not always going to execute 100%. That is not life. But the goal here is to be intentional. So I'm not looking for, again, the quantum leap. I'm not looking for you to change everything in your business tomorrow, but I'm looking for you to look at your business through the lens of what do I need to be intentional about? What do I need to organize? And what is going to free up that mental space so that I can operate my business more effectively and truly take care of business?
Leah, that was so good. Thank you so, so much. The
Well,
chat was
thank you.
the chat was blowing up, and you really gave meat. You gave a skeleton and meat to what a lot of us absolutely desperately need. So thank you so much. It's very clear that you spent a lot of time, energy, and heart into this call. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So I hope you guys will take some time and put these things into practice, because knowledge puffs up. It's applied knowledge that yields wisdom. So thank you, Leah. That was fantastic.
Thank you.